Hey, what is your plan? You got a plan, right? What's the old phrase? If you don't plan to succeed, then you are planning to fail. Well, everything needs a plan. Business needs a plan, but you also need a plan to have a good household, to have successful parenting. You need to have a parent plan. You need to have a plan to have a good, healthy relationship. You need a plan to be happy. And that's what we're going to talk about, is what's the plan? The plan to be happy. Because today we're going to do a quick little series, a 5-part series on yoga. Because yoga is a plan. That's what yoga is. It's a plan or a path or a way to help you connect to your highest self, to God, to love, however you want to describe it. But it is a plan to get you from stuck to joy. If you're looking for that kind of a plan, you got to check this series out. YogaPsych. Ancient answers for your current problems. Hi, I'm Brett, your favorite shrink, and welcome back. Welcome back to YogaPsych. Now, I love this because YogaPsych is a new way, always an old way, but it's a new way of thinking by using some ancient principles and truths. And the ancient principles and truths come from the ancient practices of Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, from ancient yogic practices. And so what we're going to learn in this series is we're going to learn a little bit about what yoga is and what yoga is not. Because what we always think of as yoga is really not a true yoga. So let's start. Let's begin with what is yoga. Well, yoga means a path, a way to unite or connect you to your higher source, to God's truth, as we talked about. Yoga is a path. And there are different paths to connect you to God because there's different people out there. We are all not the same. So there's actually not a single yoga, but there are multiple yogas. And what's fascinating to me, you've always heard me talk about my 5 minds and how we have different parts of our brain. Well, what's fascinating to me is these yogas, these different paths to helping you connect to your happiness and joy, follow the 5 different, or the 4 core brains. They combine the thinking mind into one, but they follow along the different brains. And so depending on how you are and who you are and how you orient to your life, it changes your path on what path would be best for you to find happiness. So let's talk a little bit about those different paths today. The other night I was out to dinner with some friends. And what was really fun was to talk to them a little bit about yoga and just kind of look at their own personalities. And I could see how just at our very table we're having dinner, I could see that the different parts of the brain were represented right here, right now, which was pretty amazing. Across the way from me was my friend Wade. And Wade is a carpenter. He also is an athlete. He also loves to run marathons and do endurance races. And he's a doer. He was a guy of action. Across the way from him is his wife. And his wife, Bryn, is a nurse. And she is a mom and a lover. She loves people. She takes care of people. She just has a heart of gold. Next to me is my wife, who she's always been a better meditator than me. She's also a great thinker, and she has a brilliant mind. And so I think she's really a great example of a kind of a combination of different strengths. And me, I'm a thinker. You know, I'm always up in my head. I'm always thinking. And I'm learning. I'm trying to learn how to be a better meditator and how to be more mindful. And from that, I'm learning a ton. But my basic orientation is thinking. Well, there are the 4 different parts of us. And there also are the 4 basic yogas. Now, before I dig into them too deep, let me just start off and talk about Hatha Yoga, because it's one of the yogas that everybody thinks about, but is not truly a yoga. You know what Hatha Yoga is, right? In fact, what you think of as yoga is really Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga is the practice of those different postures and poses and positions, and I can't even do it because I'm so bad at that. But Hatha Yoga is made up of asanas or poses. And what's interesting about Hatha Yoga is that it's really a preparatory yoga. It's a preparatory yoga that you can use for any of the other yogas that we're going to talk about. But what it does is it helps free you of energy and attention. It helps open your body up and get the energy in your body to begin to flow. And it's that freeing of energy that prepares you to be able to take that energy and apply it to a practice, a yoga. Well, YogaPsych is the same as Hatha Yoga. It's not a true yoga like it's going to bring you to a place of enlightenment. That's not really my goal. But it is preparatory. It's helpful because it helps begin to free where you are collapsed, and particularly where you are collapsed with your attention and with your energy too, but mainly your attention. And that is a psychological opening of your emotions, opening of your mind, and helping you begin to free yourself so you can apply this into a path of success. Now, to help us talk about these 4 really true yogas, I want to use Abby. You remember Abby? Abby Normal. She's my brain. She's going to help us understand how this all fits. Now, like we talked about before, we talked about Linda and me, and Linda's a little bit better at meditating and being in touch, being conscious, being present than I am. But I am a thinker, and I tend to just cogitate on things all the time. Just think. And so there's a yoga practice that actually focuses on that. It focuses on the thinking mind. It is the yoga of the thinking mind. It is called asana. And in many ways, we could say YogaPsych is an asana. It's a yoga that helps you approach God by having the right thinking or the right self-understanding. A lot of times in this kind of yoga, what we focus on is, who am I? Being aware of what thoughts are true, what thoughts are not true, what thoughts are me, what thoughts are not me. And it's that kind of thinking process that helps you begin to discover who you're not and who God is, right? So that's one kind of yoga. Ana. And in fact, what's interesting about that is Ana Yoga actually comes from the same root word that knowledge comes from. So it's a knowing. All right? Second kind of yoga comes, I think, for the kind of the limbic system. The limbic system is what's inside of your brain. It's in the core or center of your brain. And the limbic system channels and works with your emotions. It is your emotional mind. And there's a yoga called Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga, I love Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is the yoga of the heart. It is devotion to God or devotion to love. And you want to love your guru, your master, your Lord, your Savior, whoever it is that you want to devote yourself to. It is that loving devotion to that person that helps free your energy and focus your mind. And again, what we talked about with Bryn across the table from me, she's a nurse and she's a lover and she's a mom and she loves to love. And that is her natural practice. And so I would say for her, her natural devotional practice, her natural yoga is bhakti. Now, if we break the brain open, we have the thinking mind, we have the emotional mind, but deep down inside, here and here, we have what is called the body mind. Now, the body mind is awesome because the body mind, just as the name implies, focuses on actions and behaviors. It's not words, it's not thoughts, it's not feelings, it's actions. Fight and flight, all of your patterns, all of those things come through your brainstem. Well, there's a yoga that focuses on the body mind. It is called Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is about right life, right actions, right behaviors. And if you have the right actions and behaviors, if you devote yourself to living rightly in all that you do, then you will find truth in God through that pursuit. And Wade, across the way, my carpenter friend, my athlete, he is a man in his body. He is a man of action. And in living right actions for him is how he connects to truth, to life, to love, and to God. Now, there's one more mind and one more yoga. And this last yoga is called Raja Yoga. It means king. And the reason why it's called the king yoga is because it's thought and believed to be the highest yoga, the best yoga, the supreme yoga. And it is the yoga of consciousness. And this is very much where I see my wife, Linda, practicing her mindfulness, practicing meditation. It comes from our conscious mind, which is almost like a collection of all of our other brains. When all of our brains are working together and focused, we create something that's bigger than any of the parts. And it's called consciousness. And consciousness is awesome because only humans have consciousness. And no other animal, no other creature has or ever had or has presently. Consciousness is being aware. It's a heightened state of awareness that goes beyond our five senses. And it's an awareness that comes outside of sensory input. It's we're aware of things, and how we're aware of things, nobody knows, but we have an awareness of things that steps outside sensory input. So I can sit back and I can be aware of my thoughts. I can be aware of my feelings. I can be aware of my actions. I can be mindful of this moment. And it is in that quiet, peaceful place is where we connect to truth and where we connect to our highest self and where we connect to God. And that yoga is Raja Yoga. Now, homework assignment for you, I want you to spend some time this week watching, observing yourself. Maybe do a little journaling. And I want you to notice what practice you naturally flow to. Are you a thinker like me? Are you a feeler, an emotional person, lover? Are you a doer? Are you a man of action? Or are you a meditator? Are you naturally drawn to mindfulness and being open and being in the present moment? Be aware of yourself. Be aware of others. Watch, learn, and see what practice is good for you and what practice other people are naturally doing for themselves as well. And then we're going to do some more videos on this series to help you kind of apply each yoga to help you be a better person. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, like the video. If you want to make some comments, please do. And always check out our website, YogaPsych.com. Again, I'm Brett, your favorite shrink. Take care. Hey, I haven't told you yet, make sure you go to YogaPsych.com because that's where you're going to find these ancient answers for your current problems. Take care.